I'm Barry Marks with Marks & Associates, and I'd like to share with you some of what I've learned over the years representing banks, equipment lenders, and equipment leasing companies. One of the most troubling developments in the equipment finance market over recent years is the prevalence of pre-funding requirements by vendors. From the vendor's perspective, it makes sense. Vendors have been burned where the lessee has refused to accept equipment and the lessor therefore refuses to fund. However, from your perspective, pre-funding arrangements can be very dangerous. First, obviously, you're making a loan or an advance of credit without any collateral. Second, even where it seems perfectly reasonable to do it, never have the delivery and acceptance start early. In other words, don't pre-sign the DNA. We have cases such as the Jazz case in Hawaii, in which judges have thrown out a DNA signed in advance, despite the fact that the lease says that it contains the entire written agreement of the parties. What judges will do in some cases is say that the lessee has the right under the UCC to inspect the equipment, and unless that right is specifically waived, they won't begin the term of the lease early. No hell or high water. That being the case, we can draft an effective pre-funding or progress payment arrangement, but it has to have certain parameters. First, we like to consider these to be unsecured loans to the lessee, meaning that at a specific time, the lessee either pays fully the amount that has been advanced with interest, or signs a lease that covers at least that amount. Second, the equipment that is going to be financed needs to be very carefully described, and a maximum amount of financing should be stated. Every now and again we see somebody try to do a pre-funding arrangement that isn't clear on these terms, and the lessee orders additional equipment expecting the lessor to make payment. If possible, and it isn't usually possible, have the vendor sign, so that he will agree that if the equipment is not accepted by the lessee, he'll refund at least some of the money. Also, one of the things that we find every now and again in these pre-funding arrangements, pre-funding has been particularly common where software is involved or high-tech equipment is involved. Unfortunately, that is also the equipment that the lessee is most likely to have a problem with. Always make sure that your lessee has an ample opportunity to inspect the equipment and signs that DNA only after it knows it has what it wanted and you know that you have your collateral completely in place for the full value. One other comment. Sometimes we have loans that are followed up by true leases. Bear in mind that your purchase money security interest protection may not be there if the money has been advanced before the equipment is delivered. That has to be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. For this and other information, check leaselawyer.com.